The terrorist organization Scorpio travels back in time to create a bountiful future for its members. Led by General Anderton, the group's exploits have mixed up the histories of Aquaman and Green Arrow, making Arthur Curry a king with a quiver full of arrows and Oliver Queen the king of Atlantis, with all the power that the title entails. In a preview of Aquaman Green Arrow, Deep Target number 4, the two heroes fight through Scorpio's lunar base to reset their pasts. However, General Anderton seems to have a different plan in mind, as he instructs his followers to initiate Tabula Rasa protocol. The famous phrase is also the name of an important storyline from Justice League Unlimited, possibly hinting at Anderton's endgame. In the second season of the then-named Justice League cartoon, Tabula Rasa was a 2-episode arc that saw Lex Luthor manipulate the Amazon robot into fighting against the Earth's heroes. The phrase, which loosely translates to clean slate, was a reference to the android's childlike mind and blank appearance. Given that neither Luthor nor Amazon have shown up in Deep Target, the use of Tabula Rasa here may imply that Scorpio will be attempting to cleanse the timeline once more. Previously, Anderton caused Aquaman and Green Arrow's affliction by manipulating past events. Here, the general's underlings seem unnerved by the command, saying, "I hope I remember you," further supporting this possible outcome. While Aquaman and Green Arrow try to sort themselves out, at least one of the heroes is living on borrowed time. In April, DC will be publishing Death of the Justice League, which follows the League's attempt to protect the Earth from the threat of the mysterious Dark Army. As the name implies, the storyline will kill 9 out of the 10 heroes involved in the battle, with both Aquaman and Green Arrow on the list of potential casualties. The publisher says that the deaths of the League's marquee members will have far-reaching consequences for the DC universe, as the world learns to live without its greatest champions. Wakanda is one of the most powerful nations in the Marvel Universe, thanks in part to its huge stores of the precious metal vibranium. This has given Wakanda a huge advantage on the global stage, even as the rest of the African continent was being ravaged by colonialism and the slave trade. Recently, Wakanda's ruler, the Black Panther, converted the country into a democracy, abdicating the absolute rule he once had over it. It was also revealed that, years prior, Black Panther sent Wakandan sleeper agents out into the world to safeguard the country's interests. Now, someone has begun targeting these agents. Black Panther must now track down whoever is behind these killings, all while trying to keep the agent's existence a secret. In the meantime, corruption is spreading in Wakanda. As the preview opens, Black Panther is conferring with Bast, the guardian of the Panther clan. She tells Black Panther she has fallen victim to treachery and only he can save her. Bast tells Panther that whatever is killing her has spread to the vibranium mines as well as the nation's crops. She concludes by saying, "Should I die, so would Wakanda." The preview shifts focus, and an unnamed narrator describes the greed and corruption that is spreading through Wakanda, and it comes back to the nation's reserves of vibranium. In the past, Wakanda was portrayed as a borderline utopia, with technological achievements that far outstripped other nations, and Black Panther was its wise, benevolent monarch. But while Wakandans enjoy a high standard of living, recent years have begun to show the country's darker aspects. During Ta-Nehisi Coates' acclaimed run, fans discovered the intergalactic empire of Wakanda, a dark mirror of the earth-bound Wakanda, one built on conquest and fear. The narrator seems to be Tosin Oduyi, a new Wakandan hero teased by Marvel who shuns Wakanda's technological development and may not be fond of T'Challa. While Oduyi will apparently be a heroic presence in the comics, it remains possible that they're responsible for the attacks on Black Panther's sleeper agents. Whoever is responsible for the attacks may also resent Black Panther changing up the country's traditional government to a democracy. The nation of Wakanda has been viewed as an incorruptible paradise, but not everyone agrees, and now it falls on Black Panther to address the growing unrest in his country. Spinning out of Chip Zdarsky and Marco Cecchetto's Eisner-nominated run on Daredevil, Devil's Reign is taking the Marvel Universe by storm, ushering in significant changes to your favorite heroes and villains. The impact of this Marvel Comics crossover will be fully explored in May with Devil's Reign, Omega #1, the event's finale issue. In the wake of one of the most visceral Marvel stories ever, New York City stands remade and reforged, if not in Wilson Fisk's image, then at the very least in his spirit. After a battle that nearly tore the city and its citizens apart, New York superheroes have no choice but to try to adapt to the new and dangerous paradigm they find themselves operating under, with 8 million people turned against them. The shocking outcome to Marvel's NYC mayoral race, the fate of Elektra as the woman without fear, and more exciting developments will emerge from the ashes of Kingpin's takeover. A preview for Justice League number 71 features a massive battle in the Fortress of Solitude as a result of the Royal Flush Gang's Jack accidentally opening every dimensional portal door last issue. The Justice League and allies can be seen facing off against villains like members of the Crime Syndicate, who are set to be the focal point of the upcoming War for Earth 3 event, but also big bads who died in the past. One splash page confirms another major DC resurrection following Dark Knight's, Death Metal's restart of the universe, Trigon. Trigon is a demonic conqueror who first appeared in New Teen Titans #2 in 1980. He shares a connection to the Titans, being that his daughter, Raven, is a member of the team, though she has stood alongside them against her father in comics. This familial conflict has also played out in adapted works as well, including animated series. Towards the end of Red Hood and the Outlaws from the Rebirth era of DC Comics, Trigon faced off against Bizarro mano a mano. Their battle ended with a brutal fatality as Bizarro leapt through Trigon's chest and ripped his heart out, later assuming his throne to keep his subjects in line. The new Infinite Frontier era that has launched has already revived other DC characters, such as Roy Harper aka Arsenal, with Trigon being the latest. Justice League number 71. The Royal Flush Gang hatched one of the most elaborate plans in the history of the DC universe, and now we know that all of it was a prelude to the crime of this and maybe even the next century. How does it connect to the trial of Black Adam? When all seems lost, hope can still be found. With Wonder Woman now by their side, the Justice League Dark have survived to fight another day. Merlin is only getting started. Can the team still prove they have the magic within to defeat the medieval mage? Marauders, Marvel's X-Men franchise title about Captain Kate Pryde and the Hellfire Trading Company, is changing hands, with writer Steve Orlando taking over for Gary Duggan. As for Orlando, his run on Marauders will kick off in January 26's Marauders Annual #1, which features interior art from Creasley and a cover by Russell Dowd-Ehrman. Following that, the Marauders title will be relaunched with a new #1 as part of the Destiny of X era for the X-Men line. Orlando's upcoming Marauders era will introduce a revised crew for Captain Kate Pryde, including Bishop, Psylocke, Aurora, Tempo, Somnus, and eventually even Cassandra Nova. The team's first mission involves getting a hold of a new boat in order to rescue Daken from a villain who, while not new to Marvel Comics or even technically the X-Men, has never encountered the mainstream version of the team. Drawing on his well-known deep bench of superhero lore, Orlando will bring in villain Brimstone Love and his so-called Theater of Pain, antagonists who appeared in the 90s cult classic title X-Men 2099, making their non-2099 Marvel Comics debut. Taking the helm of Marauders is easily the most exciting moment of my career, especially when it's my first ever ongoing not just on Krakow, but at Marvel in general, Orlando states in Marvel's announcement. Exploding out of the team's already amazing adventures as part of Hellfire Trading, Captain Pride's new crew of marauders will stop at nothing to bring endangered mutants to safety, to always go where they're needed, not where they're wanted, Orlando continues. To mutant rescue, wherever it calls them. Marauders Annual, 2022, Number 1. A new crew sets sail. With Kate Pride at the helm, the Marauders are ready to renew their mission of mutant rescue. She's got the mission, all she needs now is a new boat and a fresh crew to match. Pride and Bishop must unite a crew of mutants, new and old, to spring Dakin from imprisonment at the hands of a leader who's as cruel as he is charismatic, the primal provocateur known as Brimstone Love. It's the Marauders versus the Theater of Pain, a torture troupe that set up shop in Xavier's school's old backyard. Come aboard for the first adventure as Steve Orlando takes the helm with our seafaring mutants. This preview shows John Kent back in a time when he was a super son. He is holed up in a cave, with Batman and Nightwing stepping towards the entrance. John ends up startled by their appearance, shooting his heat vision towards them. Nightwing rises to the occasion, removing his and Batman's masks to look less threatening and approaches the young hero while Bruce calls Superman. Nightwing is also seen comforting John, giving him a lollipop taken from Batman's utility belt. Batman designed his persona to prey on and instill fear in his villains, but that isn't who he is all the time. Batman's family is as large as it is because he continually adopts new sidekicks and young heroes into it. When they have had hard times, he has been a mentor, as well as a source of comfort. He has been able to bridge his own emotional damage and crime fighting with the role of father and teacher to each Robin, Batgirl, and Batman. To do so, he couldn't always be scary, but understanding and compassionate of each of their plights. While Batman could simply have a sweet tooth, it doesn't seem likely that his utility belt would have lollipops just because he enjoys the occasional candy. This is likely a tool he has for situations where children are involved and need comfort during scary, or even traumatic, events. Part of Robin's role is to be a brighter counterpart to Batman, a role which Dick Grayson is still playing even in a different mantle. This is something he likely learned and honed with the help of Batman, allowing him to be a friend and source of comfort to his adopted siblings, as well as other young superheroes, like John Kent. In recent issues of Robin, the Boy Wonder has been fighting his way through the Lazarus tournament, which promised the victor a chance at eternal life. Though he ultimately lost to Connor Hawke in the final round, Damian's failure helped him escape the prize, which involved being possessed by an ancient demon who sought to raise the world. Instead of succumbing to certain doom, Damian gathered the tournament's fighters against the demon, putting an end to the monster. This act of rebellion infuriated Mother Soul, the tournament's organizer and Damian's long-lost great-grandmother, who subsequently sent the hero back in time. In a preview for Robin number 10, Damian's trip to the past uncovers some family secrets as he witnesses one of the most tragic moments in the life of the Batman villain and his grandfather, Ra's al Ghul. The preview shows Damian stalking a younger Mother Soul, or as she was then known, Ra's al Ghul. As Ra prays to a demon statue, she invites Damian beside her and explains that she believes the demon will save her from the horrible illness that plagues her. Ra's interrupts the two and says the secret to curing her lies in science, not prayer. As if on cue, Ra collapses in Ra's arms and dies. This scene explains both the contrasting ideology of Ra's and his mother as well as the tragedy of her supposed death. When he last saw Damian in Robin number 4, Ra's warned that there are secrets in their family's past that are better left buried. Moving forward, Damian will continue to explore his complicated family dynamics in Shadow War, which centers around the upcoming death of Ra's al Ghul. The 3-month crossover kicks off in March with Shadow War Alpha #1 by Williamson and artist Victor Bogdanovic before continuing in the pages of DC's monthly Batman, Robin, and Deathstroke Incorporated titles. In addition to the titular heroes, the story will incorporate Talia al Ghul, Damian's mother, and the current head of the League of Assassins, who seeks to avenge her father's death by killing Deathstroke. When dealing with evil threats and nothing else seems to be working, Marvel heroes have adopted a simple strategy at times: send them into the sun. Whether the transportation to the star is through standard shipping in the arms of a flying superhero, or express delivery via teleportation, the end result is usually the same. However, in Thor #21 hints that this buildup of baddies may cause the sun to die out and unleash something far worse on the universe. A narration claims that there is only so much darkness one can throw into the sun before the star turns black, alluding to the many villains, beings, and even celestials that have been sent to perish there. We can catch a glimpse of a new evil snaking its way out of the sun's core, before claiming that the story is not ready to be told yet. The issue then shifts back to Thor's fight with the God of Hammers, which was revealed in the previous issue to be the weapon Mjolnir itself. The 2021 event King in Black, which built up in the pages of Venom for 3 years. In the main miniseries final issue, an Enigma Force-powered Eddie Brock dealt out the same punishment he experienced from the god of the symbiotes, Null, and delivered a final blow by disintegrating the god in the heart of the sun. An entire page illustrated by Ryan Stegman was dedicated to showing Null's destruction, but the god's whole focus was darkness, which is exactly what is being teased here. Of course, the sun being infected is just the latest tease that Thor has made for the Marvel Universe. The King of Asgard has experienced visions of Thanos wielding Mjolnir infused with the Infinity Stones, killing both the God of Thunder and his friends or controlling zombified versions of them. What the breadcrumbs Cates is laying out will lead to remains to be seen. Thor #21. Thor has been beaten down, and the God of Hammers is about to make the final blow. Is this the end of the All-Father? Prophecies do come true, after all, but not always in the ways they are foreseen. For there is one last chance to save Thor, but at what cost? Plus, the shocking origin of the mysterious God of Hammers is revealed.